Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Y'all should be able to hear me now. Y'all should be able to hear me. But what is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is your boy Darion, and we are live, absolutely live for episode 10 of the Darion Hopkins Show. And I am your host, Darion of the Darion Hopkins Show. And we are here with a great show. We are here with a great action-packed show here. And it's going to be very, very fun, man. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, man. We are in the building. It's going to be fun to watch this. It's going to be fun to do this because we have another podcaster coming on as a special guest at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. My guy from All Even Podcast. He'll be coming on at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we have so many other great topics to talk about today, which we'll be talking about the new NFL docuseries for quarterbacks. We'll be talking about that just dropped, featuring quarterback docu-series. NFL and Netflix got together, but we'll talk more about that. We'll talk about the Titans releasing 3 players to clear up their cap space on the NFL news. We'll talk about Willie Taggart joining the coaching staff for the Baltimore Ravens and why the Las Vegas Raiders probably should go after CJ Stroud. Why should they go after CJ Stroud? Very interesting. Then we got, is Bronny James is a top 10 pick in 2024. We'll get in a lot into that. And we have Nate McMillan fired by the Atlanta Hawks after a 29-30 start. So before we get into any of those topics today, make sure if you are listening on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on Facebook, which is the Darion Hopkins Show, or my personal Facebook page, Sonny Hopkins, make sure you share, hit the like button, and comment for engagement purposes only. And if you want to go to a live event, you want to go to a sporting event, you want to go to a comedy show, you want to go to anywhere that you want to go that have live music, make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and you see at the bottom on this side, promo code SRT for the first $20 off of your first purchase. Make sure you don't want to miss that. Make sure you get that purchase only using our promo code SRT. But like I said, man, we do have All Even podcasts coming on at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to try to get through these podcast episode quickly as possible and talk about some other things as well. So shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to SJ Raider saying dropping in to give you a like. Great show. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Tyra Garner, Ebony, aka the Queen herself. Thank you for commenting on Facebook. We absolutely appreciate the love and we appreciate the support over here at the Darion Hopkins Show. But let's get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight into it. And that's all NFL topics here. And we're going to talk about a little bit about some NFL topics here. And we're going to get straight down to the nitty gritty. Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota will feature in a docu-series, the quarterback docu-series. Now, the NFL announced it Wednesday that they will partner with Netflix for a docu-series to follow the Kansas City Chiefs' Patrick Mahomes, Minnesota Vikings' Kirk Cousins, and the Atlanta Falcons' Marcus Mariota. Now, the quarterback profiles of their lives of Mahomes, Cousins, and Mariota on and off the field across the 2022 season. As a part of the venture, they will be mic'd up for every game. Now, a senior executive of NFL Films, which is Ross Kitover, I'm sorry if I said his name wrong, if I apologize, provided a statement on this project. He said that we are thrilled to partner with Netflix and could not be more excited for our first project together. NFL Films and Netflix share a passion of dynamic storytelling and an opportunity for our strong relationship with Peyton Manning and Omaha Productions, and to have Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota granting us an extraordinary view what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL. So this is a pretty interesting docuseries that I want to talk about because you picked the Super Bowl champion, you picked a Kirk Cousins that can't win in prime time, and you got a Marcus Mariota that's just not good in the NFL. So, I mean, Marcus Mariota, you really can't call him a Pro Bowler. You really can't call him a Super Bowl champion. But I just like to see the day in the life of Marcus Mariota. I think his is more intriguing than Kirk Cousins, in my opinion. I think you could have picked other quarterbacks that could have been better than Marcus Mariota. I mean, it's hard for him to be an NFL quarterback ever since he was with the Tennessee Titans and the Las Vegas Raiders. He finally in a starting role again. I think that's why he's on this docu-series. But, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, you know he was going to be on here. Let's just keep it real. We all knew that he was going to be on here due to the fact that it's Patrick Mahomes. He just won a Super Bowl. He just beat the Philadelphia Eagles. He went to Disneyland. They want somebody that's going to be a face. And that's exactly what he is. He's a face. And that makes absolute sense that he's a face of an actual franchise for the Kansas City Chiefs, even though his offensive coordinator is with the Washington Commanders at this point. So when it comes down to Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins and Marcus Mariota, I really can't say much about Kirk Cousins. He did have a great year with the Minnesota Vikings. They came back from a 33-0 lead to beat the Indianapolis Colts, but they could not win in the playoff game. They could not beat the New York Giants in a home playoff game at that. So there was a tough season for Kirk Cousins, and they think a lot of people, they might be giving him the boot. They might be giving him the boot. Who knows? Who knows? But it's a great docu-series, and it's going to be interesting to watch. I will be watching. I do have it on Netflix. They did not say a date yet for the docu-series, but hopefully we'll see that, and we'll get all the developments and the details for that real soon. So congratulations to Kirk Cousins, Patrick Mahomes, and Marcus Mariota for being on the first quarterback docu-series for Netflix and NFL Films. This is going to be a very interesting thing to watch when it comes to that. On to the next news. The Tennessee Titans longtime left tackle Taylor Lewan and Robert Woods has been released. I was kind of shocked about these here. But the Tennessee Titans made several moves to get under the salary cap Wednesday, releasing the longtime left tackle Taylor Lewan and wide receiver Robert Woods, and even inside linebacker Zach Cunningham and kicker Randy Bullock. The Titans have approximately $23.3 million over the salary cap before Wednesday's moves. By releasing Lewan, which is $14.8 million, releasing Robert Woods will give you $12 million, releasing Zach Cunningham will give you $8.9 million, and Bullock will give you $2 million. And the Titans save approximately $37.7 against the cap. Now, I knew Robert Woods ever since he tore his ACL. He has not been the best. He has not been a great receiver. And you know that the Los Angeles Rams traded him before they was able to win that Super Bowl. And I know he felt some type of way that the Rams won the Super Bowl and they traded him to the Tennessee Titans. And he has not been on the field for them. He has not done nothing for them. I mean, Taylor Lewan, we know his injury status. We all know where he came from, the Rams and other teams. And he could not stay healthy. But he was a solid left tackle for the Tennessee Titans. Zach Cunningham, I really don't know too much about. Never even heard of the guy, but I knew Randy Bullock been around for a while as a kicker for the Tennessee Titans. But I think this will help out the cap space for Tennessee. Tennessee is one of those teams that needs a quarterback. We all know Ryan Tannehill is not the answer in Tennessee. They need some wide receivers because Robert Woods just got released. You traded A.J. Brown last year. All you got on the offensive side is Derrick Henry. Let's just keep it real. That's all you have is Derrick Henry. You don't have anybody else. So when it comes to the Tennessee Titans, you get a lot of cap space for your organization, and there's going to be a lot of interested free agencies that's looking for quarterbacks. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo could be an option, even though I don't think Derek Carr would be an option, but he probably would be an option. Aaron Rodgers is definitely not coming to Tennessee, but you got some other, Jacoby Brissett is an option that's better than Tannehill in my opinion. So you have some quarterback options with your salary cap. You got some offensive line options with your salary cap. You could build that defense or get a receiver like, if they want to trade for DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins don't want to be in Arizona anymore. He did his due diligence in Arizona. I don't think he wants to be there. Go out and get a DeAndre Hopkins to help out Derrick Henry on that offense. You need weapons for a quarterback. You need an offensive line for a quarterback. So if I'm the Tennessee Titans, that's where I'm spending my money. On this defense, I'm spending my money on this offensive line and getting some weapons for your quarterback. And go out and get a cheap quarterback. Even if you want to go get Stidham for the Las Vegas Raiders, go get Stidham. I would take that. I would love for the Raiders to get Stidham back. I'm just saying, I would love for him to get back. But at the same time, that's the hole that Tennessee needs to address. But when it comes to Robert Woods, his career is going downhill. We saw him in Buffalo. And then after Buffalo, he went to the Los Angeles Rams. Had some good seasons with the Los Angeles Rams being outside of Cooper Kupp. So, yeah, I think that it was the right move to release these guys. Just to free up your cap space, and you got to think about the draft and what draft these you have to sign. So a lot of people are freeing up cap space as of right now. But is it a shocker that Taylor Lewan was one of their longest reigning offensive linemen, was able to be released? I was kind of shocking about that. But hey, this is a business at the end of the day in the NFL. You're not guaranteed to stay on a team 20 plus years. We see Tom Brady do it. We see other quarterbacks leave, like when Joe Montana left the 49ers to go to Kansas City. It's a business at the end of the day. You want to win where you're at. Don't get me wrong. You want to win, but it's a business. You got to make moves that's going to be tough for your franchise to try to build a future for your franchise. And that's what I think the Tennessee Titans are doing. And they're trying to compete back in that worst AFC South that stinks. The Texans stink. The Jaguars is the best team in that division. And Tennessee is trying to get their glory back. Probably opening up this cap space. The AFC South is just not a great conference. Not a great conference, great division in the AFC conference. That's just my personal opinion when it comes to that. So hopefully Tennessee can get it right. Hopefully Tennessee can get back on the map in the AFC. So let's get down to it. College coach Willie Taggart. He's expected to join the Baltimore Ravens here. Very interesting topic here, because the Baltimore Ravens is still adding to their coaching staff, even though John Harbaugh is still there. John Harbaugh been a Baltimore Ravens coach for the longest when it comes to it. So the Baltimore Ravens are expected to hire longtime college coach Willie Taggart to oversee during their running backs, according to ESPN. Interesting. Taggart is a former head coach at Florida State, Oregon, and Western Kentucky, South Florida, and Florida Atlantic, which held for the past 3 seasons before being fired in November. He has set to join Colorado staff under the coach of Deion Sanders, but instead to take on an NFL job for the first time. Taggart would take over Craig Versteege, who was the coach of the Raiders running backs for the past 3 seasons. Versteege, who has been the Raiders staff since John Harbaugh's first season in Baltimore back in 2008. He could get reassigned to a different role, but Willie Taggart is 46 years old. He's 15-18 at Florida Atlantic after a 9-12 record less than 2 seasons at Florida State. Overall record, he's 71-80 overall as a college head coach, including 10-win seasons at South Florida in 2016. Now, we all know the running back committee is going to be big in Baltimore. We all know they love to run the football in Baltimore. So I think this was a good hire for him. I don't think he's not an offensive coordinator. He's just going to be like a running backs coach. We all know J.K. Dobbins is the star of the Baltimore Ravens. He's the star. He's the guy. Yeah, you got Gus Edwards. You got Kenyon Drake. You got all those other guys, which Kenyon Drake might not come back. I think he was on a 1-year contract. Don't get me wrong with that. But him coming in to be the running backs coach, we see what J.K. Dobbins can do when he's healthy. And we saw him healthy majority of the year last year. Not every week he was there, but majority of the year he was there. And he had a great comeback season. He was a comeback player of the year. But he damn sure had a better season than he had a few other seasons. But he has a running back committee with Gus Edwards and those guys. And I think Willie Taggart would take on this role like as a head coaching job or offensive coordinator job. I don't think he would take on this role in any different kind of way, in my opinion. Willie Taggart is an okay coach. He's not great for college football because he doesn't win there. And I want to know what was his position was going to be if he went to Colorado under Deion Sanders. Because if Deion Sanders give you a coaching job, you better take it. Understand the NFL is higher, it makes more money, and you got to go where the bag is at. But we talk about Deion Sanders that turned schools around. You just see what he did at Jackson State. We just seen it. I don't know what your role was at Colorado, but I would have stayed there if I was Willie Taggart. Understand the Baltimore Ravens, you play. Willie Taggart played for John Harbaugh's dad, Jack Harbaugh. He played for his dad in the NFL. I understand that. I completely understand that. Now I understand it's some family ties there, it's some relations there. Cool. But if I'm Deion Sanders, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be on a coaching staff with him and a former NFL player on top of that. So when it comes down to it, the Ravens picked up a good coach, not a great coach, but a good coach. He's not that bad. It's not that bad. He only had one winning season, but he's not coming in and getting a big role or anything of that nature. He's not coming in to have the best offensive line in football or the best offensive football. He's coming in as a running backs coach. That's it. He's coming in as a running backs coach. And you know, if he was wanting to be with Coach Prime, that would have been dope. It would have been dope for him to come in with Coach Prime. Absolutely. I wouldn't put it past him at all. I would not put it past him at all. But Willie Taggart joins the Baltimore Ravens as the running backs coach under Kenyon Drake if Kenyon Drake comes back, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins, which is not a bad running back committee for the AFC in the way they run the football effectively with their offense, even though that Greg Roman is not there anymore. And we don't know what the issue with Lamar Jackson is going to be. We don't know that. We don't know what the situation with Lamar Jackson is at quarterback. Will they tag him? Will they really sign him to a bigger contract? But this is what the Baltimore Ravens do. They really don't sign they don't really sign their quarterbacks to contracts. Only one big contract that they got out of the Baltimore Ravens is Joe Flacco after he won the Super Bowl. And that's it. But Willie Taggart joins the Ravens coaching staff. Very interesting to watch. Let's see what he does with these running backs, man. Let's see what he does. All right. The topic that I wanted to get to. And I really hope some of the Raider Nation is listening to this podcast. And I really hope there are a lot of people who are listening to this podcast. Even Leo, because we just did a Nothing But Raiders podcast yesterday. We did a Nothing But Raiders podcast. We talked about CJ Stroud. And I saw an article today talking about why the Raiders should go all in and land CJ Stroud at number 7 in the 2023 NFL draft. So, for the first time in 9 years, the Las Vegas Raiders need a new starting quarterback and need a plan. They do need a plan. What's going on, Chad? What's going on, Leo? What's going on, y'all? As the Silver and Black look forward to the future in the post-Derek Carr era, they should make an aggressive move for CJ Stroud, who is an ideal fit for head coach Josh McDaniels' offense. Interesting. With the $48.4 million in cap space and the number 7 overall pick, General Manager Dave Ziegler has 3 options to address the game's most important position, which is the quarterback position. Option 1, if you could sign a high-priced free agent quarterback such as Jimmy Garoppolo. What's going on, Keith Springs? What's going on? Who is familiar with Josh McDaniels' offense in his time and his tenure at New England between 2014 and 2017. Option 2, select the best passer available with his first draft pick, meaning CJ Stroud at number 7, if he drops that far. Option 3, take a big swing acquiring Aaron Rodgers if the Green Bay Packers make him available. Ziegler would forget to wait. He can't forget and wait for Rodgers. He just can't. I don't think he can. who could cost 2 first-round picks along with a third rounder and a player of significance, according to The Athletic, and $59.5 million in guarantees. That takes a majority of our cap space if that happens. Secondly, he's a better off bypassing a bidding competitor of an injury-prone quarterback in Garoppolo, who missed 18 games in 2020. And lastly, why allow teams to dictate your choices in the draft? I agree there. So recently, I can say that Ziegler sat down with Tennessee Titans left tackle Taylor Lewan and 9-year linebacker Will Compton with Bustin' with the Boys podcast. And he talked about the Raiders quarterback situation. He sure did. In the comments, sounds like the general manager with an eye of a sustainable quarterback plan, which raises questions about whether he will give up premium pick for Rodgers, who is 39 years old and evaluates his future every season, or go with a CJ Stroud, or go with somewhere better. And I'm going to be completely honest with you here. I like CJ Stroud. Don't get me wrong. I have no issue with CJ Stroud. I have the issue of the tender of Ohio State quarterbacks not being successful in the NFL. Yes, Justin Fields is probably the only successful one right now, but he's on a bad team. He's on a bad team. So think about this, right? We got $48.4 million in cap space for the Las Vegas Raiders. And you sit here and we get CJ Stroud at number 7, right? And we keep Stidham. Who's going to start? Because you notice when you're a top 10 pick in the NFL, you have to think about the contract that you deserve as a top 10 pick or even a top 5 pick. So where the most of that money of our cap space is going to be spent on quarterback regardless. And I think we shouldn't go that route. I don't think we should just go all in at CJ Stroud. Because if you give him that big money at the number 7 overall pick, then that means he has to start because you paying him that money. He's going to have to start in his early years. And I'm not ready for a trust the process build with the Las Vegas Raiders again. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. I'm ready to start winning right now. I don't think CJ Stroud right now could come in and start winning for the Las Vegas Raiders. I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening. I just don't. What I see is, in my opinion, you go out and re-sign Jarrett Stidham to a nice contract, not nothing that's going to break the bank, and you build around your team. Or you draft CJ Stroud and you give him a nice, reasonable contract, not nothing that's going to break our cap space, and have him as a backup to Stidham. So you'll have Stidham, Stroud, and Garbers, Chase Garbers as your 3 quarterbacks. Now, one of those options had Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not a fan of that. The man missed 18 games. Yes, I understand he's a winner. He knows Josh McDaniels' offense from being in New England. But the best ability is availability, and I definitely don't want Jimmy Garoppolo winning. An unavailable Jimmy Garoppolo at that. I don't want an unavailable Jimmy Garoppolo. The third option was Aaron Rodgers. Of course, we're going to have that talk. We're going to have that talk about Aaron Rodgers. And I feel like this. I feel like this with Aaron Rodgers. But hold up. Give me 1 second. My light went out. I apologize. My light went out. I'm sorry. But Aaron Rodgers is not the answer for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm going to just be honest with you here. He's not the answer for Las Vegas Raiders because, like I said, $55.9 million in guarantees that is owed to Aaron Rodgers. He's 39 years old and about to turn 40. And then on top of that, you have to figure out if he's going to play every season. I'm not banking on that. I said this on the Nothing But Raiders podcast yesterday. I am not banking on the Aaron Rodgers every year if he's undecided if he wants to be a football player the upcoming season or he wants to retire. It's one or the other, man. You're going to retire or you want to play. And I'm not banking on giving him almost $60 million of guarantees every year, knowing damn well we don't know if he's even going to play the next following year. And he's about to be 40 years old. I don't want a 40-year-old quarterback for our future of the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't want that. So should we go all in on CJ Stroud? It's possible. I want to. But the Ohio State quarterback got to prove me wrong. He got to prove me wrong. Yes, he had record numbers at Ohio State. Like every other quarterback that came through in the NFL that came from Ohio State. And look where they're at. I'm just going off the pass. I'm just going off the pass what I see from Ohio State quarterbacks. They just don't succeed. Like Alabama quarterbacks. There's only two that you can really name that has actually had good years. Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. Before that, you can't name an Alabama quarterback that was great. Because Alabama was good for their running backs and their receivers, their offensive line, and their defense. Same thing for Ohio State. No different. So going all in on CJ Stroud, no. No, I'm not going all in on CJ Stroud. The only way I go all in on CJ Stroud if we secure Jarrett Stidham. That's the only way I do that. The only way that I would do that. So make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, man. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you turn the notification bell on for the Darion Hopkins Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live right here on YouTube at the Darion Hopkins Show. And we're live on the Facebook page, the Darion Hopkins Show, and my personal Facebook page, which is Sonny Hopkins. If you want to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram at DhopkinsShow. If you are listening on Spotify, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you type in the Darion Hopkins Show and you can hear the audio version of this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, make sure you go over to SeatGeek and use the promo code SRT and get your first $20 off your first purchase for live events, concerts, sporting events, you name it, they got it. Go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code SRT for your first $20 off. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of a little bit of some NBA. And the first thing I really want to talk about is Nate McMillan. What's going on, love? What's going on, beautiful? What's going on? But Nate McMillan, ladies and gentlemen, Nate McMillan. He got fired from the Atlanta Hawks after a 29-30 start. Now, Joe Prunty will be the new interim head coach. So Nate McMillan time as a head coach is absolutely over, y'all. I like Nate McMillan as a coach. I thought he was a great coach. They went to the conference finals a couple of years back, and he had that team rolling. But John Collins went out. Then you had Trae Young, that's very immature as a player that needs to grow up. It's a lot of dysfunction there in Atlanta. It's a lot of dysfunction there. So Atlanta announced that they fired the head coach after a 29-30 start into the season. Assistant coach Joe Prunty will serve as the interim head coach the rest of the way, and the team will still be fighting for a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, according to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, he did report that the Atlanta Hawks plan immediately to start their coaching search of McMillan's personal replacement, and noted that former Utah Jazz Quinn Snyder and Milwaukee Bucks assistant coach Charles Lee and Golden State Warriors assistant coach Kenny Atkinson could be considered. This move after the Hawks made headlines in December when Trae Young missed the game against the Denver Nuggets. I remember that. But Trae Young is an immature player, man. He's an immature player, and it shows. It shows that this team is in dysfunction for Atlanta, and Atlanta is very underachieving in the Eastern Conference. They're underachieving. There's too many underlying stories within this organization why it made them fire Nate McMillan. I don't think they wanted to play for him anymore. I don't think they had that connection with Nate McMillan anymore. And they need a fresh start. This is the second half of the season just started for the NBA. They still have a chance to get into the playoffs for the Atlanta Hawks. And mind you, it's a weak Eastern Conference anyway. It's a weak Eastern Conference. If Trae Young can step up and be a leader, if they could trade John Collins, because John Collins has been trying to get traded for the last couple of years. He wants out in Atlanta. I'm surprised he's still even getting on the court and wearing a Hawks jersey at this point. But Nate McMillan getting fired was the right call. I mean, I liked him as a coach. Don't get me wrong. I think he was a dope-ass coach at the end of the day. But, like I said, like in the NFL, it's the business. If you ain't winning now and you losing the players in the locker room, they're going to boot you. People say job security. Job security. Ain't no job security in professional sports. I don't care if you're an MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL. There's no job security there, no matter how much they give you. If you're not putting production out on a field, a court, a center ice, or a baseball field, you're getting the boot. And that's what happened with Nate McMillan. It wasn't no product. Your players was not getting along. They did not like you as a coach, Nate McMillan. It was time to go. It was definitely time to go. I respect him for what he done in the NBA. Don't get me wrong. He has done a great job in the NBA. A great job. But when your time is up and your time is down, like John Cena would say, your time is up. They need a new scenery. To me, I think they need a more coach that's not as laid back as Nate McMillan was. He was definitely laid back. I mean, he wasn't cool. I wouldn't say good enough because he did get them to a conference championship. He did get them to a conference championship, but once the locker room started not playing for him anymore and all the dysfunction that was going on behind the scenes under the Atlanta Hawks, then that's a different story. But a couple of years ago, this team was in the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of years ago under Nate McMillan. So I'm sitting here thinking just like, man, Nate McMillan went and got them to the conference finals. And then I think it was in the playoffs last year, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I think they were, but I don't think they are. But it's a possibility they could get into the playoffs this year. It's a possibility. And I would not be surprised if they are in the playoffs. But it depends on what type of coach and what type of style of a coach. For me, Kenny Atkinson is the best candidate for me out of all the people that they said. They even got the assistant coach. They got Quinn Snyder, the assistant coach for the Utah Jazz, Milwaukee Bucks head coach Charles Lee, and Golden State Warriors Kenny Atkinson. I think Kenny Atkinson is the best fit. He comes from a championship pedigree in the Golden State Warriors. Why not give him a shot? I'll take that. I'll give Kenny Atkinson that. So when it comes down to the Athletic, they did report that he was away from the team following a disagreement with McMillan, which we talked about Trae Young, and noted there were multiple team meetings early this season to resolve these various conflicts. Trae Young addressed the situation at the time and said, we're all grown men here and we all grown men here and sometimes we don't always agree. It's unfortunate that private situations and private conversations get out to the public. But I guess that's what the world we live in now. But I'm just focused on basketball and focused on helping my team win. And that's all we got to do. And that is a quote from Trae Young on the firing of Nate McMillan. So let's get into some more NBA news, man. But it's a prospect that we're talking about. A prospect that we're talking about. And that's LeBron James' son, Bronny James. This is who we're talking about, man. The 2024 NFL draft. Not NFL, NBA. I'm sorry. The 2024 NBA draft. Is Bronny James worth a top 10 pick in next year's draft? Is he? because this is interesting. Because I think he is, just from what I've seen in high school. From what I've seen in high school, I think that Bronny James' stock continues to rise. And according to Jonathan Ganovi, he says that Bronny James will be the number 10th overall pick to the Orlando Magic in the 2024 NFL Draft. Now, James was off the board at number 10 to Orlando. And in January, they had, according to Jonathan Ganovi, he said he watched James and Sierra Canyon, whatever, I think Sierra Canyon, compete in a Hoop Hall Classic that came all the way impressed with the highly touted guard. In the class full of prospects, with those development is stagnant, James is one of the few who continues to make strides physically and skill-wise, looking like a 5-star recruit, any potential one-and-done candidate, according to this. So they saying that Ganovi added that James would be a strong consideration as a first-round prospect in the 2024 mocks. Based on where he was rated Wednesday, Bronny might even win the Mattis Buzelis for the top spot, which is Buzelis was Ganovi pick with the first overall pick to the San Antonio Spurs. Bronny James is a dog. And I'm going to be honest, Bronny James is definitely a dog. He's definitely looking like his father more and more and more. The difference between his father and the difference between him is that Bronny is going to go to college for 1 year. We all know that he's going to be a one and done. We all know that Bronny ain't going to stay for 2 years or 3 years. Like the NFL, when you got to play football, you got to play for 3 years before you go into the league. We all know the one and done thing I'm not really a too big fan of for the game of college basketball, because y'all know I love college basketball. I love college basketball, but I'm tired of seeing a one and done players and not knowing who half of these players are in college basketball. So we all know Bronny is going to be a one and done player. We all know this. Question is where he will go for his one and done. Will he go to the best team in basketball in the Kansas Jayhawks? Will they go to Alabama? That was the number 2 team in the country. Who knows? But I think Bronny James' stock is going to keep rising because of the name that he has. But he has talent. I'm not going to do that to Bronny James, though. He has the talent. He's looking like his father. Probably have a better jump shot than his father by now. Because LeBron getting up there in age. We all know LeBron can't do what he used to do. But I seen this reel, and I'm gonna tell this quick story real quick. I seen this reel that I saw Bronny James, right? I saw, oh my God. I don't know why this keeps happening to me with this light. So I saw Bronny James, right? And I saw a Facebook reel. It wasn't even an IG or a YouTube short or anything of that nature. I saw that Bronny James was dunking high, just like this, cock back and all. Cock back and all. And it was just identical to LeBron James in Miami. Those times that he was like, LeBron was just dunking cock back and just boom, you know? And I saw that video, and that video went viral, and I said, Bronny James is going to be it. He might just be it. He's not going to be it as Zion Williamson it, because Zion Williamson was it only in college, and he has not done nothing in the NBA. I think it's going to be completely different for Bronny. It's going to be completely different for Bronny. I think Bronny's going to come in, and, you know, his father LeBron is going to really help him and mold him while he's in the NBA. That's why I think LeBron James is really sticking around, because for real, being with the Lakers, I think LeBron James wants to retire. I'm just being completely honest. I think he wants to retire. I think he does. And I can't put it past him. But he's sticking around because his son. That's why he's sticking around, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly why he's sticking around. But LeBron James and Bronny James, his stock is going to rise. He's going to play great basketball, and he's going to put up the numbers. So whatever college he decides to go to, Bronny James is going to do great. Bronny James is going to do good. And LeBron is going to carry him all the way through his process. Just my complete, honest opinion when it comes to Bronny James. But that's all I really had when it comes to the sports topics for today. When it comes to the NBA and the NFL. But I want to get into one more NFL topic, and I'm going to send this out real quick to him, to my guest, which you will see at 7 o'clock as well. I forgot to send this link out to him. I'm sorry, y'all. Hopefully this is the right link. So let's talk about it. Did anybody see All-American on Monday? We got to see Bronny James fans in the future. Oh, God. Yes, you're going to see them. You're going to see a lot of fans. You're going to see a lot of them. But let's talk about it. Did y'all watch All-American on Monday? Because I did a preview of the actual show of All-American. I did a preview of it, and it was pretty dope. Pretty dope, but a pretty sad episode 12 of All-American. Billy Baker's funeral was sad. They did a tribute to him. Laura, the wife, Laura Baker, she wanted it to be intimate only. She said that she shared her husband with the world. She just wanted family and close friends only. And mentally, I don't think Spencer is there. He hasn't grieved his father. He really hasn't grieved a lot of losses in his life. And now Billy Baker being one of his mentors through his whole football career is really hindering him. Laura's not taking it well at all. I mean, Olivia is really hurting for her mother. Jordan, I think he's not really going through all the emotions just yet. I think he's still numb. We've seen Billy Baker's father come back to be at the funeral. And I love what they did with the whole memorial at Billy Baker Field in Crenshaw. I love that. And they really consider it to be all about Billy Baker. And it's gonna be sad to really watch this show now and not see Billy's face come through the screen. Tay Diggs already stated why he left All-American. I think his time was up. In his opinion, he think he did enough for All-American, and it was time for him to move on to something bigger and better things when it came down to it. So with All-American, it was a interesting episode, and I cannot wait to see what happened on episode 13 when the players start to get back on the field, because Jabari was supposed to go to Coastal. And now he don't know if he want to go to Coastal because everybody feel like he is the reason why that Billy Baker lost his life. So watching All-American and Laura blaming Jabari for Billy Baker's death, I didn't like that. But Laura had to come to some realization that if that was any other child, if that was Spencer, if that was Jordan, if that was JJ, if that was anybody that Billy Baker coached, he would have did the same thing for them. All he was doing was looking out for Jabari's future, and he risked his life doing it. That's what I love. That's what I love about All-American, that you always have that hero that looks out for the kids only. And that's what a lot of football coaches that's in high school, that's in Little League, that's in Pop Warner, that's in college, that's not even in the NFL. You got to treat these men like that was your son. And Billy Baker is a reason why he's one of those good coaches that never took the easy way. Never took the easy way route at all. And I was a former football coach for Little League, and I treated all them kids like my sons. You get what I'm saying? Treated them like my sons. And I saw them grow and prosper into something that's even bigger than me now. And that's what Billy Baker wanted. His kids to be bigger than him, to get a college education and play football and go into the league. And that's what he was to All-American. One of the best mentors I saw as an on-screen character. He was my mentor. Shit. He was my mentor. So All-American episode 12 was pretty sad, but it was pretty good at the same time. They celebrated his life, and now there's a lot of healing that has to go on. Let's see how these football players is going to react. Let's see how Spencer and Jordan and all these other people is going to react. But I'm kind of mad at the CW at this point. I'm kind of mad at them because I have to wait to March 13th for another episode. So now what I'm going to talk about to March 13th? What am I going to talk about? I can't talk about nothing till March 13th when it comes to All-American. That sucks. Oh, that sucks. That sucks badly, bro. It really does. So with that being said, we are going to go to a quick break. We're going to go to a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. And just to let y'all know, we will have all even podcasts on at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You do not want to miss it, man. It is the Darion Hopkins Show. It will be back in a few minutes here. So make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. We are in the building, and we'll see y'all in a couple minutes. And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. I am back, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, at 7 o'clock, we will have All Even podcast coming on to the show, to the Darion Hopkins show, just to talk about his podcast and talk about the life of podcasting, sports podcast, and how he got his podcast off the ground. So make sure y'all go and subscribe to the channel over there at All Even Podcast. But before he comes up to the show, I have to say, if you like any sport events, if you like any promo codes, if you like live events, if you like discounts, make sure you go to SeatGeek.com. Make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code SRT and get your first $20 off on your purchase with us using the promo code SRT. So while we wait for him to come up on here, y'all, shout out to the Ignorant Thinkers podcast. Shout out to y'all for being in the building. I really do appreciate y'all being here for the Ignorant Thinkers podcast. Thank you so much, bro. I had them on last Friday and we had an interesting show. Hopefully we can get you back on here, and I got to get on your show as well. So we're going to talk. We're definitely going to talk behind the scenes, man. Definitely going to talk behind the scenes, but make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, man. It's the Darion Hopkins show. Really do appreciate all y'all coming through a great podcast. I cannot wait for All Even podcast to come on here, because I watched some of his stuff and he had some great content on Instagram, and I went to his actual channel and subscribed, and I'm like, yo, the content was really great. So with that being said, without further ado, we have the man, the myth himself, Mr. Barry Grant Jr. of the All Evening podcast in the building. What's going on, brother? Thank you for coming on to the show. I really do appreciate you, tuning in.
What's the word, Dan? You hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you good, brother. We can hear you good over here, man. So how's your day going so far, bro?
I mean, busy, bro. I'm a dad, so it's crazy. You know what I mean? I jumped from being dad, now I had to jump down here and talk to you a little bit. So it's all good.
No, it's fine. You take your time, brother. Take your time. Being a dad ain't easy. I mean, it ain't easy. I'm not a father myself. I'm not a father at all. But I'm just saying, I raised, 4 nieces, because my brother's not around. So I just try to be the father figure to them as well. So I know how it is, man.
Listen, man, kids need it, man. No matter if you're an uncle, if you're whatever it is, surrogate, they need all the love and support, man. So salutes to you.
Absolutely. So I came across shit, like I was just telling the audience, I mean, a few people that's going to be listening and actually watching. I came across your Instagram, and I didn't even know I was following you at one point, but I just saw like a video. I forgot what it was about. I think it was about Derek Carr, because I'm a Raiders fan. At the end, you see it in the back. I'm a Raiders fan, so I think you was talking about Derek Carr or talking about something about Aaron Rodgers or something of that nature. And I just saw that you was cool. You had your sunglasses on. You had the hat on. You had your squad. I'm like, this guy's going to be entertaining. And then recently, I just saw your reel of Ben Simmons. And I absolutely agree with you 100% on Ben Simmons, because I'm a Sixers fan. So seeing Ben Simmons and seeing, him, and I'm like, okay, it's time for it was time for him to move forward. But like you said, you have great players that want to work and be the best, and then you have players that just want to be here just to be here.
Right.
And Ben Simmons is one of those players that just want to be here. Now, I've been saying this for a while now. If people watched him at LSU, he did the same thing at LSU.
Exactly.
And Sixers fans did not want to be like, oh, he has the ability to be like the next LeBron James, and the way he drives to the basket and play defense, but he can't shoot.
Right.
LeBron James became great because he knew that he had to shoot. He had to get better at a jump shot. So at the end of the day, I appreciate that real, but Ben Simmons sucks, bro. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I had to throw that out there, man.
I'm not gonna go that far and say the kid sucks, man. The thing is that when we get caught up in potential. Everybody gets caught up in potential. They see a guy, they see the size, they see the ability, they see the athleticism, and they all automatically start comparing him to somebody. Hey, he can be the next such and such. He can be the next such and such. He has traits of such and such. And we have this image in our head of those old players, and we're subjecting this new individual to those standards. We do it. It's human nature. It's what we always do. Ben Simmons comes to the league now, and he's not living up to whatever standards that we set for him, media set for him, the Sixers fans, whoever the fans of Ben Simmons set for him. And this is what we're seeing. You know, it's a guy that showed you the inability to get his team to the tournament at LSU. You know, they had a terrible record at LSU. He was decent. And he had a terrible record in the SEC conference that wasn't that great that year. So we were expecting this dominant Ben Simmons, and we didn't get it. That was red flag number one. Red flag number two is you can always tell great players from their year one to year two jumps in whatever sports they have, in whatever sport they're playing in. There was never a year one to year two jump for him. It's pretty much the same type of production that you're getting out of him. That's the second red flag. The third red flag is that his game never got any better. You know, all the greats, LeBron didn't come into the league with a jump shot.
Sure did.
Jordan didn't come into the league with an effective mid-range. He came in as an athletic guy that developed the mid-range jump shot. LeBron developed his game. His jump shot is still a mechanical looking jump shot, but it works for him. You understand what I'm saying? Because he puts in the work. Carmelo Anthony, he worked on his game. All the greats have worked on their game. They have added layers to their game. Ben Simmons has not done that. So at what point do we stop talking about potential and just look at him for what he is? He is what he is. And people need to he'll be in the league, but they need to stop talking about potential with him. He's 25, 26 years old at this point.
Right.
He is what he is.
I just think he's a spoiled brat. That's just me.
It's new age athlete, Darion. Honestly, like there's a lot of guys out there like that are just, you know, they've been told that they're the man their whole lives, and you know there's certain roadblocks that they can't really navigate around because they never had to.
Right.
So you know the first type of adversity that they face in their careers, they really can't handle it, and you know we're gonna see what happens with him. I don't know what's gonna happen. It doesn't look good, but he has a very big contract that the Nets can't get out of right now. He doesn't have much trade value. So, you know, we're going to see what happens because I can't see any other NBA franchise willing to take on that particular risk because it comes with so much development. You have to make sure that you have the proper staff in place, that he has some type of mental health, you know, person to speak to. And maybe he needs some days off. There's a lot of maintenance that comes with the Ben Simmons. And I don't know if the talent level is going to match all of the things that he needs for a particular organization. So, you know, we'll see.
We'll definitely see. I'm just kind of happy that whole debacle in Philadelphia is officially done. I'm so
absolutely
happy about that because that's all they talked about when he was in Philadelphia, all his situation and stuff like that. But let's get straight into it, man. All Even podcast. How did that come about, and how long you been in the sports podcasting industry? Because I see that you have great quality, you have a great product, and how long you been around? Because like I'm starting, I don't really use my Instagram, but I don't use my Instagram like that. So just seeing different podcasters and reaching out to them, like I reached out to you to be on the show. Like, how long you been doing this thing? Like before YouTube, or was you doing audio? Like how all of this started for All Even?
Well, first off, I appreciate that, man. Definitely appreciate the kind words. I've been podcasting since 2020. So what happened was I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting that's out there in New York and Westbury, Long Island, and did that and graduated, and then you know, everything was kind of set up for me. Everything was kind of lined up with, you know, programs and assistants and things like that, internships, because all of our teachers at the school were in the industry already, whether they're radio, whether they're in TV, video production, whatever it is, like, you know, they're somewhere. And then COVID hit, pandemic hit, and school closed, and all of the resources went away. So I'm here with this degree, I'm here with this diploma and all these certifications and all of these skills. I'm just like, okay, well, what now? I can't sit here and cry about it. I just got to get to work. So, you know, I just decided to create my podcast. My brother, my best friend, I've known him for over 30 years. He's, you know, we were going through names, you know, we had a list of stuff, and, you know, he's just kind of naming them off, and I'm like, nah, don't like that one. And he got to All Leave, and I was like, now, you know, we're still talking, and I went, hold on, go back to that one. I'm like, All Even. He's like, All Even. I said, don't, sounds good. He's like, yeah, it does sound good. So, you know, that's when it was born. July 13th, 2020 was my first official show. I started off as audio only. My first 100 episodes, honestly, maybe even more than that, were audio, just straight audio. And just recently, last year, July, I converted over to video. So, you know, I built my studio, and, you know, the rest is history.
So is it all even? Is it just you and your best friend, or is it other people that's involved as part of the group as well?
It's my show. It's just me. Like, you know, if you like, when you hear, you know, if you watch the podcast, I have my homies on the show every week. Like, they'll pull up, they'll be on the couch, we'll have conversations, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it's kind of spurned into now. But the original origin was just me. It was just me behind a mic and talking for an hour or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
like I do right now, basically.
Exactly. It's pretty much the same thing, man. And you know, I got real comfortable with it. I started to branch out and do other things. I met a lot of other creators. I created this other show called All Even Live Exclusive, where we interviewed people in the industry, ex-athletes, and, you know, we have, I want to say it was like 30 shows we did until I had to leave that show alone because I had some tragedy in my family. So I kind of stepped away from podcasting for maybe like 8 months or so, you know, and came back in 2022, July of 2022. Yeah. So, you know, I was rolling, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, had to take a step back, but, you know, back full bore now. And, you know, I have my own sports network as well, the Grid Network. Shouts to the Grid. Created that September of last year. And, you know, we have a whole bunch of creators on there as well. You know, we have like 5 or 6 shows that we have on the network. So, you know, slowly but surely we're growing that. You know, I'm growing my show, they're growing their show. So, you know, it's kind of just like a umbrella type of
it's like all under one umbrella. It's like a big connection to it.
Exactly. Everybody helps out everybody. It's great.
And that's how it's supposed to be in podcasts, because, like, I don't know if you saw any of my shows before, but I've been in YouTube, like, doing video podcasting since 2016.
Okay.
So I do have a second channel, which is Spotlight Football Talk, where I just talk, you know, USFL, XFL, NFL, and college football. And I do live play-by-play commentary on that channel.
Nice.
That channel's like what, almost 8,000 subscribers on that channel. I had that channel since 2016, and I made this channel at first. It was called the Spotlight Sports Network.
Right.
And I know a lot of people know the Spotlight Sports Network because it was very popular, because everybody called me by Spotlight. But I wanted to rebrand, because a lot of things happen behind the scenes when it comes to networks. You got to have more. It wasn't enough Indians. Everybody wanted to be the chief. You know, everybody wanted to have that. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. So that's why the Spotlight Sports Network didn't work out. I mean, it worked out for the almost 2.5 years, 3 years that we had it. But I decided to separate myself and close the network and just focus on what I decided to come on here for in the beginning, and that's podcasting. Yeah, play-by-play is something that I do for fun to interact with my subscribers, but to talk sports and the knowledge of the sports is what I do now. And that's why I made it my personal brand to make it the Darion Hopkins Show. So
that's dope. That's dope.
It's pretty dope. You know, I completely rebranded this channel. Just me on here, and running a network can be tough, you know, having your own podcast and running a network and being a dad. So how are you able to toggle all of that? You know, being a full-time dad, having your own show, and, you know, I think the network is actually yours, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, it is.
So how you're able to toggle all of that at once? Like how is your day, like your daily routine for that, you know?
I mean, honestly, man, like you just have to find the time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's if you want to do something, if you have aspirations to do anything, you're gonna find the time. You have people that, oh, you know, I need to go to the gym, but they'll make an excuse. Oh, I was tired that day, or I don't have no. You have time to be able to really map out your day and really put a schedule together. And this is what your blocks are going to do. This is what you're gonna do here. This is what you're gonna do here. And shouts out to my son's mother. You know, Jasmine she's a great mom. She holds me down, she holds him down. So, you know, that helps a great deal as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, having that type of support in home really, really helps. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's fantastic. So
yeah, having a support system in general is what is big for anybody that gets into the entrepreneur world, the podcast world, no matter what type of industry you're getting into. Having that support system is what's really needed, especially for your mental coach, because this being in the podcast industry is really up here, you know. So it's not really what you could put on. Oh, you could have the best mic, you could have the best system in the world, but if you ain't here mentally, a lot of podcasters drop out. And we've seen a lot of podcasters grow over the last couple of years since the pandemic. We've seen all these podcasts come out, and we've seen a lot of them drop because they couldn't finish. So it's really all about being mental up here. So
well, I'll even you know, kind of add on to that. It's you know, the thing is with podcasting and this YouTube thing, and, you know, the whole YouTube boom that we're in right now, is that everybody believes that they can go viral. Yeah. So when they see people, they see all these successful podcasts, and they believe that, oh, well, I can be able to talk about the same thing, and see, I can be able to have 1,000, you know, 10,000, 100,000 followers and make some money and all that stuff. But for every 1% of those people that go viral, you got people out there that are struggling with their channels, that are building their channels, that have had their channels for 7-8 years, and they're slowly but surely, you know, gaining that following, and, you know, they're busting their ass, and they're not making the money that the 1% are making. And people have to understand that it's not all roses, you know, just because you got some monetization, or, you know, you have the option to get paid on some shorts, or you got some AdSense or whatever it is. Like, all YouTube money is not equal. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to be able to, you know, keep grinding. Don't worry about the numbers. If you're passionate about podcasting, that's what's going to push you forward. It's the passion. It's not about how many subscribers you got or how many views you got. It's about, if you love doing what you do, and you're going to wake up every day and feel enthused and to talk about what you're talking about, that's what's going to push you through. Because like you said, podcasting is a mental grind, and a lot of people get burnout. It happens. You know, if you don't balance your life properly, or, you know, kind of take a step back sometimes and really see what you're doing, a lot of people get burnout. And, you know, a lot of people who get burnout and walk away from podcasting, most of them never come back. So, you know, it's something that you just gotta, you gotta be able to understand. You gotta understand where you're at mentally. You gotta go through the ebbs and flows of it. you got to ride the roller coaster and, you know, just kind of enjoy yourself, man, and just appreciate the journey, honestly.
And that's what I had to learn, you know, knowing with the breakup of my network. I took some time off before I decided to rebrand this channel. I took some time off and had to reevaluate how I wanted to do this channel and reevaluate myself and how I wanted this channel to be, because I was at a point where I was going to sell this channel. I was not going to keep this channel at all. I was just going to be like, take it, do whatever you want with it. I don't care what type of podcast you do. As long as it's podcasting, I don't care.
Right.
But I took a step back and I'm like, wait, I built this channel. I grind my behind off to get those 4,000 watch hours. I've grinded my behind off to get the monetization, which I really don't care about it. But it came with the territory that I was able to
journey.
It came with the journey. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna rebrand it and just use it as a Darion Hopkins show, because I had this show before a few times, but I was never really successful ever. I really didn't get past episode 2 or episode 3.
Got you.
So I'm like, you know what? Whatever episodes that I had back then, I'm wiping them out. I'm starting from the ground up. I don't care if it's at 1.45, 1,400, 1,500 subscribers. I don't care. I don't care if it don't move up or move down.
Right.
I'm going to keep putting out quality content for people to see. If they want to watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. I still work a full-time job, so I know how it feels to work a full-time job 7 to 3, get up at 5 o'clock, get there at 7, be home by 4, and be ready for this actual show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and a Raider show on a Tuesday.
Right.
So my only day off is a Thursday. And sometimes on Thursdays, I'll probably be just recording shorts or making content just regularly for the channel.
That's
so
right. It never stops.
It's 24/7 ground, because in the sports industry in itself,
never stops.
Always breaking news.
Yeah, it never, man. Like, you know, you can be able to put out something on Tuesday, and by Friday it's old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of those things where you just got to continue to keep on it, man. And, you know, shouts to you for doing, you know, four particular shows a week on different stuff, man. That takes a lot. That's what I was doing prior to my hiatus. You know, I was doing content, man, like 6 out of 7 days, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was just grind, and it never seemed like work to me because you having fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, going back to, you know, the whole network thing for you, it's really important. Like, if you ever decide to go down that road again, is to find like-minded people. Like yourself. You know, it's one thing to be able to say, I got a network, I need to get some people here, or, you know, if you're a creator, hey, let's go ahead and collab. Like, that's cool, but you need to have people that understand the concept of team. If you do not understand the concept of team, it's not gonna work. It's just like any sports team that you're on. You can't have everybody shooting the basketball. You need guys that can be able to rebound. You need guys that can be able to just do the garbage work. You need guys that can be able to be rah-rah on the bench and be the resident cheerleaders like Pat Bev and stuff like that. Like, you need guys like that. You that's a team. And that's how you're going to be able to create synergy and have that chemistry and be able to grow things. But if everybody is gunning for the same spot, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have on my network, is that we have a lot of like-minded creators. Everybody knows their role. Everybody grinds the same way, and everybody's looking to build the channel the same way. And that's why it works. You know what I'm saying? You know, obviously it's in its infant stage right now, but I believe that, you know, the Grid Network can be able to continue to grow and be good.
And that's because with the Spotlight Sports Network, it's an LLC. So if I ever wanted to bring it back,
right,
I could always bring it back if I wanted to, because it's an LLC. It's already in as a business when it comes down to it on the business side of things.
Shouts to you for that, definitely.
I had to protect it because a lot of people don't know behind the scenes stuff, which I don't really want to talk about, but just know that they was trying to take the name from under me. So I had to protect it. You know, as me being a creator of it, I had to protect what was mine, logos, merch, whatever. I had to protect all of that. And that's why I was able to get the LLC for it. But getting into some sports, man, I know you got some favorite teams that I don't know about. And I would like to know, you know, NFL, NBA, baseball, Who you rocking with now, man? I know you don't say you just rocking with any team.
Oh no,
I
no,
know
no.
I
I
know
have
you
my
got some favorite teams out there.
yeah, I got my teams, bro. In basketball, I'm a Lakers fan. I've been a Lakers fan my whole life. Shouts to my mom, RIP for her. She was the one that gave me my Lakers stripes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I've been rocking with them since I've known myself, right? Football, I'm a Cowboys fan. Been a Cowboys fan my whole life. I was also a Jets fan, so I was kind of like a dual fan growing up. Like I used to watch the Jets, and then obviously after the Jets game finished on CBS, you had the Fox game with the Cowboys. So it was kind of like I used to love watching both, and just to kind of decided to kind of follow the Cowboys full time. Baseball, I'm a huge Mets fan. I live in New York. I grew up in Queens, so the Mets are my lifeline. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like no team for me affects my mood the way the Mets does. Let's see. I'm a hockey fan as well. I love the Islanders. Again, another New York team. So it's all about those particular teams for me, honestly.
Well, you already know my Las Vegas Raiders got one up on the Cowboys. You see that Thanksgiving game last year, not this past year, but the year before. So
yeah.
See, with me, I like every Philadelphia team but the Eagles.
Okay.
So I don't know what it was with me. It's just that even though my house is divided. My father's an Eagles fan, which my mom, of course, she's going to go with the hometown team, but she likes the Ravens and the Seattle Seahawks. My brother's a 49ers fan and I'm a Raiders fan. So it's like house divided every single week when it comes to one team playing the other and this team playing that team. So that was a house divided with me. So Sixers, Flyers, Phillies is the rest when it comes to mine. So Mo Green asked the question, said, question from the chat, favorite battle rapper. I don't know if you watch battle rap. I don't know if you do, because I know you live in New York and you know it's popular out there. But I'm not gonna say mine. Mo Green, you should know mine. We talked about it before. K-Shine, another New York rapper. That's just my favorite battle rapper. I don't know if you watch battle rap or not.
I do. I mean, I'm old school, man. So the thing is, if I'm gonna go battle rap, I'm gonna say you got to give it to the GOAT, man. It's Murder Mook for me. So that's Mook for me.
They both from Harlem. K-Shine, Murder Mook. So I can take that. Man. I can take that.
I was rocking with Mook back in the days when he was battling Party Artie and Jay Mills. So,
Oh, you go back to the old Smack DVD days. See?
You, man, exactly. So,
oh man, see, that's funny because what was like? I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago. I had a YouTube channel that was covering battle rap. That's what they called bloggers back then.
Right.
It was like battle rap bloggers back then, and I was able to get Murder Mook on the show. So, yeah, it was after an event. I forgot the event was, but he told us like the whole, like this was before like social media got really, like big, like it did. Like now, all the contract negotiations and stuff like that. Back then, you didn't know. He was telling me how the contract negotiation wasn't going on between this rap. I forgot the battle rapper it was at the time, but it was a dope interview. And I was thinking about bringing that back, but I know that I have other stuff going on because that channel was just sitting with 3K. And I'm just like, should I bring that back or not? But if I do, I think I'm just building a team strictly around just battle rap to take over that I trust. Exactly. Like me and Mo is really good boys, man. Like he was part of my network when it comes to the sports, and he knows a lot of battle rap. And he does music as well. So Mo, hit me up, bro. Hit me up if you want to get back on that BRM Battle Rap and Media page. I still have access to it. So, Cowboys fan, huh?
Yes,
so let's talk about the Cowboys at that. You have a lot of free agents y'all have to re-sign this year.
Yes, we do.
And my question to you is this: what is going to happen with Dak Prescott? Do you think that he remains the Dallas Cowboys quarterback? And do you think he's the future for the Dallas Cowboys?
First question first. Do I think that he's going to remain as the Dallas Cowboys quarterback? Yes, because they don't have a choice right now. He's there for the next 2 years on the contract. You're not going to be able to move a contract like that because there's not a lot of teams that have that particular cap space or want to deal with that particular cap hit going forward. So he's going to be a Dallas Cowboy for the next 2 years at least. Will they? I don't know what the next 2 years are going to look like after that, because we do know that they're planning to draft the quarterback this year. You know, they have their eyes set on the hooker kid out of Tennessee. They like him. They've
That's my
talked to him.
guy.
They've talked to him extensively already. So don't be surprised if the Cowboys find a way to try to move up and get him. But we don't know. We don't know. You know, this team defensively is good enough to be able to compete for a Super Bowl right now. They need some offensive weapons. I think OBJ could help. I believe that they need to aim higher than OBJ. I think they need to look at DeAndre Hopkins because he is on the market. If they go get somebody like a DeAndre Hopkins, then now you can be able to increase that window and increase your chances of being able to compete for a Super Bowl next year. You know, because they're close. But the problem is that it's Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is holding this team back. A lot of people, you know, they don't like that particular criticism, but it's the truth. When you have a quarterback that has played horrible in the last 2 playoff games against the same team, that's a concern. When he's throwing pick sixes, that's a concern. When he's dropping back in 5-step drops and he still hasn't let the ball go after his 3rd hitch in the pocket, that's a problem. Those things he's not recognizing defense as well. He turned the ball over at an alarming rate this season. Those things are problems. So we'll see if Mike McCarthy calling the plays going forward is going to be able to help him and simplify the offense. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of question marks. Are they going to bring back Dalton? I don't think they should. I think they should be able to just let him go and let Ferguson and Hendershot be the guys. Is Zeke going to come back? Is he willing to take a pay cut to come back? Is Tony Pollard going to be healthy enough to start the season? Do they need to draft another running back this year? Maybe they have to. So, you know, there's a lot of question marks that they have. But, you know, the main concern is number 4. If number 4 can be able to correct the mistakes and the problems that he's shown over the last, I want to say 4 seasons. You know, everybody likes to look at the numbers, but I tell people all the time on my show, numbers lie. Numbers lie all the time. You can see a guy throw for 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. But if you look in between those particular numbers, who did he do it against? What was the competition like? How did he start the season? How was the middle of the season? How did he finish the season? All of those things matter, because great quarterbacks, nobody talks about this. Great quarterbacks, they'll start the season and they'll kill, right? They'll kill the first 6 games or 4 games. But what happens after that is that teams make adjustments, right? They'll go ahead. Now they have some new tape on you. They can be able to make adjustments to their defense, to their coverages. They can be able to hide some exotic blitzes or whatever they want to do to kind of confuse you. And then the great quarterbacks make the adjustment from the adjustment. Dak Prescott has not made the adjustment from the adjustment. It's about playing bad teams and looking great. You see what they did against the Tampa Bay Bucks? Everybody's like, "Oh, Dak is back. Cowboys look good." Then the following week, they play against a real team with a real front seven, and you see the difference. So that's the problem, is that he has to get to a point where he makes the adjustment from the adjustment. He has not done that. We talked about Ben Simmons, about how Ben Simmons hasn't shown the ability to get better. Has Dak? Has Dak shown you the ability to get better? No, he hasn't. He's shown you the ability to be the same guy that he was for the last 3 seasons. The thing is, the difference this year is that Amari Cooper was gone, and you saw how bad he looked without a receiver that can be able to run tight, good routes and have an extensive route tree. That's the problem. He needs somebody like that. He's a timing type of quarterback. He doesn't have great feet. He doesn't have good footwork. So he needs some guy that's going to be there when whenever the ball is released or whenever he sees him, the guy can be able to have the wherewithal to come back to the ball and make a play. So, you know, you need a DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is perfect for the mistakes that Dak Prescott makes.
Now, talking about number 4 in Dak Prescott and talk about number 4 in Derek Carr. Now, do you feel like Derek Carr's situation is different from Dak Prescott's? Because we've seen Derek Carr over the 9 years under my Las Vegas Raiders. 6 coaches in 9 years.
Yeah.
Never had a top 15 defense in 9 years.
Right.
And he did go to the playoffs in 2022. I think it was 2020. No, 2021, 2022 season. 2021 when we played the Bengals in the first round. And we seen them, he was MVP caliber in 2016. Now, do you feel like it's the same scenario as far as like making the adjustment, or Derek Carr just like played through everything that went on in Las Vegas, from Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett, John Gruden? Do you think Derek Carr had it? Is it like the same similar situations between Dak and Derek Carr? Do you think it's the same situations there?
No, at all. I think it's completely different. I think Derek Carr dealt with a dysfunctional franchise, and he did the best he could. When you have 6 coaches in 9 years, that's a problem. When you never had a great elite defense, that's a problem. When he led this team with Rick Bisaccia as the interim head coach to the playoffs, and then they turn around and not give Bisaccia the job, but they give it to Josh McDaniels, who has been a failed head coach in the spots that he's been in. He was a failed head coach in Denver. He turned down the Indianapolis job for a reason, because he was going to get exposed, and went back to Belichick. Now, I don't know how this guy continues to fail up, but we already know how the NFL is in regards to certain template-looking coaches in the NFL. But that's neither here nor there. Derek Carr, I always say, is better than Dak Prescott. I think their leadership qualities are very equal. I think they're both tough guys, but I think that Derek Carr, in the right situation, can be able to lead a team deep into a playoff run and get to a Super Bowl. Winning a Super Bowl, that's completely different. But I particularly believe, and I've been saying this on my show as well, if Derek Carr goes to the Jets are instantly a contender and they can make a deep run in the playoffs and possibly a Super Bowl.
And that's crazy, because we just seen the media come out, like I think it was yesterday, talking about Derek Carr. If the Jets told him that if he wins in New York, if he comes to New York and he wins, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
100%. It's true. It's true. Because let's think about what the Jets have, Darion. They have an elite defense. They have great young running backs. They have a good young offensive line that's continuing to grow. You're going to have Mekhi Becton's coming back. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's a big boy on that left side, right? If he can find a way to be able to stay healthy with the guys that they drafted, they have weapons over there. The outside weapons that they have, Garrett Wilson, the tight end, what's his name? What's his name? He was on the Bengals.
I know who you're talking about,
but
what I'm talking about. Yeah. We don't want to butcher his name. Exactly. I could never get his name right. Yeah.
They have Davis over there. They have a lot of guys. They have a lot of weapons on that team, man. And all they need is a guy that can be able to man the ship. They need a veteran that won't make mistakes. They didn't have that last year. Zach Wilson was a mistake machine. You had Mike White, who showed some talent, but he couldn't stay healthy because the offensive line was kind of beat up towards the end of the season. You have Breece Hall that went down with the ACL injury, right? So, with him coming back, with all the other guys that they have, man, that team is really good. Sauce Gardner he's already a shutdown corner. He's already a shutdown corner. So he's only going to continue to get better and grow. And the Jets, last year's draft, I said it on my show, they had one of the best drafts I've seen in the last 15 years, top to bottom. Like they hit home runs top to bottom in that draft. That was a near perfect draft, really. So they have what it takes. They have the money. And Derek Carr, if he makes that decision, man, I don't think it'll be a bad decision. Now, granted, it's not the number one choice that the Jets have, obviously. If the number one choice is Aaron Rodgers. But if you can't get Aaron, then Derek Carr is a great second option.
Absolutely. And I just want my Raider Nation to listen to me, because they so have all their eggs in one basket going to get Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers don't even know if he wants to play this year. Right. He's a so-called dark retreat. So we don't even know what the situation with Aaron Rodgers. I just feel like for now the Derek Carr era is over. And I say, I mean, I'm not big, like you said. Everything you said about the Raiders, dysfunctional, hiring Josh McDaniels, not giving Rich Bisaccia the chance. I've been seeing that for the past year. And Raider Nation thought I was crazy. They thought I was delusional, bro. Like, right. I'm like, no, it's realistic. When you have a guy that took a team that
playoffs,
who started 6-2 and had a whole debacle with John Gruden and Henry Ruggs and Damon Arnett and all that going on, and still made the playoffs at 10-7. And that guy should have been the coach.
And was a throwaway from beating the Bengals. Let's not forget that too.
A throwaway from beating the Bengals, and that probably could have been us in the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Right.
So I just need for them to realize, don't put all your eggs in one basket with Aaron Rodgers, because I know we got the number 7 overall pick. They say that we want to go for CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
But me personally, I say, even though Josh McDaniels, I'm not a big fan of him, but if you're going to go with somebody right now, you want to win right now, keep Stidham. Stidham, the last 2 games played pretty well. I'm not a big fan of it, but we have $48 million in cap space. We need more than just a quarterback.
I think for you guys, I honestly believe that the best route would be to draft a young quarterback and let him sit behind Stidham and whoever else they're going to have there, and let Josh McDaniels have his guy. Bringing in Aaron Rodgers is not going to fix the problems that you guys have. It's only going to compound the issues that you have. You guys have injury concerns. The defense is not great. Aaron Rodgers is getting older. You know, Darren Waller has shown some type of breakdown in the last few seasons as well. Hunter Renfrow wasn't healthy last season. So there's a lot of things. The only thing you had Josh Jacobs holding it down, and who's to say that he's going to repeat that type of performance that he had this season? So all of those things are question marks, and why have more question marks bringing in a guy like Aaron Rodgers? I think that you should just draft the quarterback. You know what the template is in the NFL. Draft the quarterback, have that rookie scale contract so you can be able to build out the team, build out the defense, and then hopefully you can be able to strike gold. So I think they should go to CJ Stroud way and just give it to Stidham or give it to him and just see what happens.
I absolutely agree, because I feel like I understand that Devontae Adams was to recruit Aaron Rodgers because of their connection, but I just think financially and him being up there in age is just, for me, it's just not the right choice.
Because they're not a ready-made roster. They're not. Right. They need if they were ready-made, if it was just like, hey, we're a quarterback away from being great, then that would be a different story. But you need way more. If you were a quarterback away, you had Derek Carr in the building. Derek Carr is not a terrible quarterback. He just could not overcome all the shortcomings that this team had this season, honestly.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your Lakers a little bit before we head out of here, because I know the Lakers are trying to get into the playoffs, trying to get into the play-in. Y'all get rid of Patrick Beverly. I think he got a buyout now. He's with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, he's on the Bulls.
Now he's saying that he wants his lick back, that he wants to beat the Lakers. What are your thoughts on your team this in the first half of the season and going into the second half after the All-Star game? Like, what do you expect from the Lakers in this second half of the NBA season?
I expect them to try to make a serious push. What they've dealt with over the last year and a half in regards to their roster, the turnover. It's very hard to win that way, Darion. I said, even before it happened, I remember when the rumor mill started to happen, and it was like, oh, there's rumor that Russell Westbrook is a target for the Lakers. I took to my YouTube channel and I made a video. I said, do not do this. If you do this trade, you are going to regret it. Laker Nation is going to hate it. They're going to hate him, and everybody's going to realize how bad it's going to be, and it's going to get bad quickly. And lo and behold, it happened. Because why? a lot of people, all the people that support Russ and they're fans of Russ, I'm not gonna come after them. I'm not gonna attack them. I have no reason to attack anybody that wants to support anybody. But facts are facts. Russell Westbrook is a great athlete. He's not a great point guard. Russell Westbrook is a great talent.
I think he's a great facilitator.
I wouldn't even say that, bro. Honestly, like I've watched enough Russell Westbrook tape to understand that he doesn't have a great feel for the position. Being able to be athletic and running by people. He has some creativity. I'm not going to say that, but the problem is that there's a lot of easy passes. There's a lot of basketball IQ things that he lacks that he can't really overcome with athleticism, because his athleticism is waning. He can't shoot. He's a liability defensively. And on top of that, there's times where he can be a problem to coaches and to teammates in the locker room. So when you have all of those things and you compound those issues with injuries and inconsistent play from the team and guys going in and out of the lineup, you're not going to be successful. And that's exactly what happened to the Lakers. Anthony Davis hasn't been healthy. LeBron James has shown a little breakdown the last few seasons. So if you have this guy that's a turnover machine with a whole bunch of moving parts out of the lineup, you're never going to have any consistent, footing to stand on. And that's what happened to them last year. Heading into this year, Rob Pelinka made all these moves in the offseason. They brought in all of these wings and all of these point guards. And you're looking at it like, damn, okay, cool. They're bringing in all these guys. They got to be moving Russell Westbrook, because if you're bringing in all these point guards, all these guards, you can't play them all. Lo and behold, we actually did not make a move to deal Russell Westbrook because Rob Pelinka was looking for the perfect trade. And there is no perfect trade. I think the trade that he passed on to start the season to get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, with the 2 first-round picks to give up, that was a great move to make, because I believe that they make that move, Darion, they're not in this situation. They're a top 4, top 5 seed in the West, because Miles Turner is a beast. And Buddy Hield has been one of the top 3 or 4 3-point make shooters in the league. Since, like, for the last 5 years, if you look at his stats, he's like top 4 in 3-pointers made. So he knows how to hit those shots, and he's having a great season right now. So, that would have really changed the dynamic of this team early on. They didn't do that trade. They continued to do the Russell Westbrook experiment. It failed. It was a miserable failure. And anybody that has basketball IQ, that understands the game on a deeper level, that really watches the game, will understand that it was never going to work, because his style of play is just not a winning style of basketball. Triple doubles don't win you championships. Triple doubles don't win you basketball games. And he has one way to play. He plays the same way in the first 2 minutes that he plays in the last 2 minutes. There's no rhythm to his game. And you can see that it was becoming a strain, not only on the roster, but on the coaching staff as well. Because, it's when you have a rookie head coach that's been trying to, put him in there and, trying to make it work, and shouts to him for actually having Russell Westbrook take the bench role. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot. That was a lot for what Russell Westbrook to do, as well as Darvin Ham to be able to facilitate. So they got that done, but it still was just not enough. Everybody's looking at his numbers. Well, he's averaging 16, 7 rebounds and 8 assists. But like I said before, Darion, numbers lie all the time. So if you look at the numbers, you're thinking that he's killing. But if you look inside of the numbers, he's shooting 42% from the field. He's shooting 28% from 3. He's shooting 65% from the free throw line. His usage rate is at its, probably the lowest it's been since his rookie season or his first 2 years in the league. But yet his turnovers per 36 minutes is tops in the league. So all of those things matter. Right. If you're still turning the ball over at an alarming rate, and you're not playing as much minutes, and you don't have the ball in your hands that much, that's a problem. It's a problem. Yeah. So now they have these pieces, D'Angelo Russell. They have They have Jared Vanderbilt. They have Malik Beasley. They have all of these guys now, Mo Bamba. This is actually a team now that they have guys that play roles. They have guys that fit into certain positions. They have a good rotation of guards and forwards now. They have some depth that they can be able to lean on. And if they don't want to play LeBron James big minutes, they don't have to, because they do have some support there at those wing spots. So they do have a chance to be able to make a run here in these last 23 games, Darion. The problem is they don't have a lot of time. It's 23 games. You know, they're going to have to try to gel quick and really make up some ground, because, you know, they're a game and a half behind the last spot right now, but there's a lot of teams in front of them. So, you know, those teams can stay hot. If they don't stay hot, then they're going to be in trouble.
Ooh, the way you just broke down the Los Angeles Lakers, man, I really don't have nothing else to really say, brother. Like, Jesus Christ, like, man, it's nothing else I can really say. But all I can say is that the Clippers, you just got the Lakers trash.
Oh, listen. I am a huge. I hate the Clippers. If you go on my channel, you see how much shade I throw at the Clippers. I call them the basement dwellers. You know, they're down there with the dehumidifiers and the space heaters down there in the crypt. You know, they just took Russell Westbrook. Good luck to you all. Good luck to you all, because everybody's like, oh, you know, all the Russ stands. Oh, listen, man, you know, y'all didn't treat him good over there. You're gonna see. You're gonna see exactly what we dealt with for the last year and a half. So we'll see.
Yeah, you'll see what happened in OKC. You will see what happened in Houston. Yeah. You will see what happened in LA. You will see what happened in DC. All in one with the Clippers, basically. Knowing that Kawhi is off and on the court. Paul George can't stay healthy. And they traded some quality players over there too. So,
and mind you, they're gonna start him. They're gonna start him.
Oh, that's gonna be even worse, because he can't play off the ball.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think for the first time in my life, I might have to start watching Clipper games, because I said it to myself. I said, you know, the basketball gods, Darion, they've been a little rough on me. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers have been struggling for the last couple seasons, but they finally gave me a gem to have this guy on our team that sunk our playoff chances over the last 2 seasons. To now have him on the Clippers to possibly sink their chances. You couldn't write a better story for me. You couldn't write a better story for me. So, you know, I got my popcorn ready. I can't wait. Because I'm going to be all in the Clippers, you know, forum. I'm going to be all in those threads, man. I want to see what they say when they really understand what we dealt with.
I love when Lakers fans talk about the Clippers. I think it's the most hilarious thing. It's like talking about Dallas and the Eagles and when they battle back and forth. When they talk about, oh, who got the most Super Bowls? Who got this? Who got? And that's exactly how the Lakers and the Clippers are.
Let's keep it 100. Like, at least those teams, some of those teams have won. The Clippers have never won. They have no banners. They have no Hall of Famers. They have nothing. They have nothing. They have nothing.
Well, I can say they have one thing. They did have my cousin back in the day when the Clippers was that bad. My cousin Bo Kimball, he used to play for the Clippers.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Well, we're not talking. Well, they've had some good players over their franchise, right?
Right.
But as a franchise, they've been a dumpster fire.
Yeah, they have not won a damn thing. They haven't won a damn thing.
And you know, the thing is, they're squatters. It's time for them to get out of Staples Center. I still call it Staples. Get your own home. I know the owner over there is building a nice new arena for them in Inglewood or somewhere like that. So, you know, I'm hoping that they get out of the crypt quick. I just want
you can't even say it.
I can't. It don't make sense. It don't ring. It don't ring, bro. It don't ring.
Staples Center, man. Just say it.
Staples. So I need them out, man. I need them out ASAP.
All right, Barry, man, I thank you for coming on to the show, man. It's been really, really fun. I know you got kids, you got the wife that you got to attend to. I know you got some other stuff that you got to attend to, but thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate. I'm actually happy that I reached out. I'm like, let me reach out to this guy and get him on this show, because I just see your content and how enthused you are about your content and about the sports and podcasting. And I'm like, I gotta have him more, man. I gotta get his knowledge and everything of that nature. Even though I've been around longer than you have, but you know, you have the knowledge going to school and being in broadcasting and stuff like that. So hearing your story is definitely inspiring, is definitely motivating as well. So thank you so much for really coming on. I really do appreciate it, man.
Nah, man, it's my pleasure, man. Thank you for having me. And like I said, bro, like I'm one of those people, man, that I will always, do people shows. You know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate the passion and the grind that other people put into their shows. And I see the work that you putting in, man. You know what I'm saying? Just keep grinding. And at some point it's gonna take off for you. You know what I mean? Like it's all about just keeping your head down and doing the work and appreciating the journey. So just continue to do that, and much success to you, bro.
And for everybody that's watching and listening as well, just put your, just plug in your social medias and where everybody can find you at.
Yes, sir. I am at All Even Podcast on Instagram, on Twitter at All Even Podcast, on YouTube All Even Podcast. If you type that in, I'm the only person there. That's pretty much it. And then if you want to check out the Grid Network as well, we're on Instagram, Grid Network, Twitter at Grid Network, YouTube, Grid Network as well. There's a lot of creators that we have, a lot of great talent. We have Cowboys Can Fan. They cover the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, and they live in Canada. So but they're dope. They're dope. I'm talking about, like, you check out their content. I'll send you the their page, and you can see how good they're doing. We have my boy Alfred Parsar Jr. He has 2 shows, Rocket Fuel Jets podcast. He has a Mets podcast, Metropolitan Report. We got our young boy Bryson Carver. He's 19 years old, and he talks like a 45-year-old in regards to his knowledge of the game. He just, he covers all sports. Carving It Up podcast. We have Patrick Brown with the Chaotic Sports podcast. He does his thing as well. Ryan Flowers with the Clutch Sports Talk podcast. So, we have a lot of stuff, on there, very entertaining things, man. All Even podcast. Like I said, my stuff is there. And I have a big show coming up this week. You're not an Eagles fan, so I just want to say it to your listeners that I have my boy Al, who's a big time Eagles fan. He made a bet on my show that if the Eagles win, that he was going to host my show, and I can't tell him what to do. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. Bring Philly cheesesteaks and run amok on my show, and I just got to sit there and take it, right?
Oh, that's going to be interesting to watch, bro.
But we made the bet. So we made the bet, but he made an open-ended bet. So he said, whatever you guys want, I'm down for. Well, the Eagles lost. So last week, I revealed on my show what his punishment was. He's getting a tattoo this Friday, live on the show, of my face with dummy coming out of it somewhere on his body. So, it's gonna be a great show, man. It's gonna be great content. There's a clip or a reel up right now on my channel from the bet of the reveal from last week's show. So, you definitely check that out, man. It's some good content, man. It's really funny.
Oh, that's really, really fun. That's gonna be hilarious. I cannot wait to see that. That's gonna be some fun content, man. But shout out to Off the Ball Network. That's my second home over here in the YouTube world. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guys over there over at Off the Ball Network. Y'all definitely doing your thing over there. Shout out to all of y'all. But man, it's been fun. It's been fun. Hopefully we could do this again. Hopefully one day if you do virtual, I'll come on your show. We'll talk some stuff, but we'll keep in touch, man. I definitely do appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, bro. Like, we'll figure it out to get you on the show, man. So we'll definitely link up and we'll make it work.
Wait, you said you was in New York, right?
Yes, sir.
What part of New York you in?
I'm in Long Island.
Okay, so I mean, I do be in New York a lot, so we probably can do some stuff like that. Cause my best friend lives in New York, so.
If you're in New York, man, like we said, we'll set it up, for a week. If you coming down here on a Friday night, we can set that up, man.
All right, absolutely, man. So Barry Grant Jr. of All Even Podcast. Make sure y'all follow him on all social media platforms as well, man. And make sure y'all check them out. Very, very dope show. Very, very dope show, y'all. So Thank you so much, bro. And I'll talk to you later.
My pleasure, man. Be easy.
All right, see you later. And that is it for the Darion Hopkins Show, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Darion of the Darion Hopkins Show. Almost a 2-hour podcast, y'all. Almost a 2-hour podcast. This was so dope to have him up here. His knowledge for the game and his knowledge for the sports is so inspiring. It's so motivating. I love the conversations with different podcasters every single week. And every single day that I have somebody on here is just make me keep going over and over again. So thank y'all so much for coming on here. If you have not followed me on Twitter and Instagram, make sure you go over to the Darion Hopkins Show, which is at DHopkinsShow Show on Twitter and Instagram. If you have not followed me on Facebook, make sure you follow me on Facebook at the Darion Hopkins Show. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Darion Hopkins Show, Spotify, and Anchor and Apple Podcasts, all at the Darion Hopkins Show. And make sure, if you want to go to a live sporting event, if you want to go to a comedy show, or you want to go to a sporting event, make sure you go to SeatGeek and use the promo code SRT for your first $20 off your first purchase. Promo code SRT. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode. In episode 10, y'all, episode 10 of the Darion Hopkins Show is officially in the books. I am your host, Darion of the Darion Hopkins Show. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, man. We see you in the next live stream, or in the next video, or in the next episode. Peace, love, and blessings. We out.